Joining us is Ariel Cohen, Senior Fellow at Atlantic Council. We wanted to talk a little bit more about the Ukraine war and also bring in China as well. Ariel Cohen, thank you very much for joining us here on the program. This is tragically shaping up to be a much longer war than perhaps many people thought.
Indeed. The Russians thought that they will defeat Ukraine in a week. That didn't happen. The Ukrainians had some impressive advances, but these did not break the backbone of the Russian military. And Putin is going into a long war mode, mobilizing hundreds of thousands of people, rearranging the industry to supply the military, and putting Valery Gerasimov, the chief of general staff, as the commander of what they call the Special Military Operation Commander in the field in Ukraine. Whether this is going to change anything remains to be seen. I am expecting pretty serious battles, military operations on both sides. We now notice that Belarus, the country that lies between Ukraine, Russia, and Poland, is at play. It's a satellite of Russia. They even have an agreement for a union state. So Putin, who is paying Belarusians' bill, is trying to dictate to Belarus what to do militarily, and the dictator of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, is resisting. But I will not be surprised if Putin manages to squeeze Lukashenko to engage Belarus in the military.
The thing is, I know of a 59-year-old who escaped from Russia because he's going to be conscripted. Now, if a 59-year-old has been conscripted into the Russian army, you got to wonder what their war-fighting capability is like, not just in terms of personnel, but in materiel.
Yes, we saw that the Russians are sending older tanks to the front line. Their recruits are not trained well. But having said that, we see that Russia managed to destroy a good part of the Ukrainian energy infrastructure. I was supposed to be interviewed by Ukrainian journalists today that couldn't do it because they didn't have electricity in Kiev. So this may go on for a while, and it is absolutely crucial from my point of view that the West is coherent, that we coordinate with our European allies, including Germany, that just lost its Minister of Defense today, and that we support Ukraine till Ukraine wins against Russia.
So will Russia now switch this from being a special military operation into a fully fledged war?
It is a fully fledged war. It was a fully fledged war from the beginning. They had four massive groupings of the military trying to attack Ukraine simultaneously. And Russia will be increasingly in the war footing. Whether this is going to resolve it or not remains to be seen. It is a very high improbability. It's very difficult to project how it's going to end. But if it's a protracted war, if the West is serious about what we're doing, it's the Western economic power of combined, $45, $46 trillion versus Russia's $1.5 trillion on a good day.
So at the end of the day, though, Ariel, you look at this, and when the chips do fall, I mean, is there, first of all, a face-saving end to this for Vladimir Putin? Number two, no matter which way the chips do fall, is he really, at the moment, finished as a Russian leader?
I think Putin is finished as a Russian leader. It's a matter of time. Nobody who conducted a war that unsuccessful remained in power historically in Russia. And I'm looking at 500 years of history. Either these people died in office, like Tsar Ivan IV or Nicholas I, who lost the Crimean War, or they're removed one way or another. So the prognosis for Putin, who reportedly is ill, is not great. The prognosis for Russia, as long as it's occupying Ukrainian territory and there's no peace treaty, is not great. So they painted themselves into that corner, and I wish them luck.
We want to bring in China. It seems like China, along with the many changes that it has made of late vis-a-vis COVID and some of its other policies, has kind of pulled back a bit from Russia. Is that a factor at all here?
There are different opinions on that. I know experts who think that China is in full court-press support of Russia, with two notable exceptions. They do not provide ammunition and they don't violate sanctions. But other than that, they're buying a lot of Russian raw materials with discounts: gas, oil, timber, lumber, metals, etc. You name it. In terms of propaganda, they are blaming the United States and NATO, not Russia, for their aggression in Ukraine.
Okay, pretty clear there. They're all in. Ariel Cohen, thanks very much for joining us, senior fellow at Atlantic Council, looking at the war in Ukraine.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to get more content like this.